The Rivals Championship Series Finals are happening January 16th, 2021. In case you aren't aware, RCS had an online format this year due to the global pandemic. This took the form of 4 majors leading up to the finals next month. However, I'm definitely not a Basecast player, so it may seem strange for me to mention a Basecast event. But what makes RCS special this time is the brackets. In addition to singles and doubles bracket, there's a tetherball doubles bracket, and more importantly, a workshop bracket. This workshop bracket is huge for workshop as a whole. Competitive Workshop is a grassroots-driven group inside a game already built by grassroots. To have support from the main tournament circuit is a huge opportunity that should not be passed up. This opportunity hasn't happened since Frostbite and Genesis, which were nearly a year ago and were in-person events. Even if you think you're going to play and lose, I think it's probably worth your time to check it out. The more people that show up, the more we can get events like these going, and the larger we can help grow this community. However, one of the biggest questions that comes to workshop brackets is, what does the roster look like? Rosters can vary wildly depending on the tournament, and RCS is no different. The RCS bracket uses a custom roster, avoiding copyright for legal reasons. Most of the characters in the bracket are based on curated, with a few extra additions to replace the cut characters. This is pretty much what I was expecting, and while the roster is small at around 30 characters, they're all pretty solid picks. Starting with the characters returning from Genesis and Frostbite, we have all the characters from that event that were deemed curated. Acid Rainbows is a simplistic rushdown that relies on raw speed and damage to mix up her opponents. She can place down a cloud that does damage over time to opponents below it, and summon lightning with down special. Hitting the cloud will make the lightning come out faster, and hitting it enough will cause it to activate without using down special. She can also weave in and out of battle with forward special, which is a completely armored dash. However, her low weight and lack of range can be exploited. Astra is a well-rounded fighter with great versatility. Neutral special lets her switch her card, which gives her a unique trap and projectile for each one. Sun card grants Astra a charge shot and explosive trap, Stars card gives her an anti-air and combo trap, and Black Hole gives her a projectile and trap that hold people in place. This, combined with her great normals, some of which double as movement tools, makes her solid at doing everything. However, keeping an eye on her selected card can help you adapt and pick up habits easier. Other than that, you just have to play to your strengths. Bird Guy is a tricky air fighter who likes long combo strings. He can throw eggs, which can be stopped with neutral special and hit around with aerials. However, most of the time these are used as combo extensions, as they pop up and can be followed with any aerial. Bird Guy has insane advantage and is great in the air, but he's really light and struggles at matching opponents in the ground, so you can often expect him to take to the air. Just make sure to watch out for down special after a close stock, as it'll set your percent to his. One of my most played characters, Epinel is a heavyweight character with traditional fighter grappler and Bayonetta inspirations. He can build platforms to use, which can then be broken to create inertial fields. If you walk into one, your current momentum will be unchangeable for a bit, so watch out. His main game plan is to scoop you into the air and chain into his command grab, doing crazy damage based on the height, and if platforms were broken in the fall. His biggest weakness is his speed. If you rush him down, he struggles heavily to keep up with the pressure. Watch out for neutral special and down strong though, as those are good panic buttons. Hime is a well-rounded character who can pressure with zoning tools and go into devastating melee combos. She can fire both normal arrows and arrows with bombs in the end. If you get hit by a bomb arrow, it'll go off after a short time, interrupting whatever you're doing and sending you flying, giving Hime ample time to set up or start a combo. Try to learn when to roll to avoid taking damage, as when you learn to do this, you can roll with the bomb into Hime to turn the tables. While Hime can approach pretty quickly, her game plan is pretty straightforward, and their recovery is pretty bad. If you can parry it, she's done for. Liz is an interesting rushdown who quite literally has a unique rhythm to her. Whenever you land an attack, a timer starts below her. Doing attacks when the timer ends gives a note and resets the timer. With full notes, all aerials become powerful kill moves. This means that Liz wants to always be hitting buttons to build meter quickly. Since you know Liz is going to be mashing, you can challenge her attacks or do something to throw off her timing. Landing hits on her will decrease her meter as well. Aside from the rhythm meter, Liz is a very basic character, so there's not too much special to worry about. Mollo is a powerful zoner that lacks strongs, instead opting to throw bombs with the C-stick. Between his all-rounders, stunning bombs, multi-hit firecrackers, fast baseballs, and powerful finishers, he has quite the arsenal. These can be kicked around by both players, reducing the fuse time. He can also use his normals to get crazy kills off the stun bomb. While he has crazy pressure at range, he relies on bombs to confirm kills. Learn to play around his launch angles, and you should be able to pressure him well. Olympia is a fast rushdown with good approach options and combos. She can summon a crystal field, which causes stun from far away, and can be bounced off of up close. Being inside the field also grants Olympia the ability to cancel some moves into each other. While her combo game is crazy, Olympia lacks range and relies heavily on the field, which can be destroyed. Controlling space is the key to winning the fight. Pomme is a unique air fighter who compensates for her slower speed with the ability to float like Peach. She can control space with her field that gives her full flight inside of it, along with her bodyguard and music note projectiles. These can help her pop you into the air and finish you off with her powerful kill options. However, she struggles in dealing with her own tactics, as she's slow and light and doesn't have many options to get out of combos. R00 is a tricky character who can manipulate their momentum and zone with their powerful projectile. They can reverse their momentum with neutral special to zip around incredibly quickly. In addition, they can also throw out a plasma star and swap positions with it. The star has a hitbox, but needs to be refreshed after being hit or hitting it by attacking it again. Also, they can place a bumper that can bounce the star and people in hit stun away. The character can do quite a lot, but they do have a few weaknesses. Their size and weight allows them to be comboed easily, and they really only have 2 recovery options, both of which are fairly linear. Valkyrie is a heavyweight fighter that can apply status effects for crazy damage. Her chakram applies a debuff to the opponent. Landing an axe move increases damage and knockback with the debuff. She can also cancel up special when near an opponent with the debuff. In addition, she has a totem which causes similar effects to people within its range, but heals her when she lands axe moves instead. However, her moves are slow and she's big, so she can get comboed pretty hard if she loses disadvantage. Those are all the characters that made it from previous event brackets, but while I'm sad that some of them were cut, especially Yo-Yo, it makes sense that they were cut due to general power and recent obscurity. However, a ton of new characters are being added on top of the older ones, all of which are sure to be interesting. Blake is a fairly standard all-rounder character with long pokes and great combo setups. He can throw a can that can pop you up, allowing him to extend combos. While the can is active, he can also reposition it. His up special is also unique, as it can be used again if it's landed, giving him crazy air combos. A lot of his stronger moves are more committal, meaning he can be punished easily on whiff if he goes for one of his stronger options. Bluey is a well-rounded fighter with solid fundamentals and a charge mechanic. By using Neutral Beat, you can gain up to 4 charges. These charges are consumed when using Bluey's special moves, making them really powerful. These include a kill projectile, a stronger bouncing ball, a further rocket launch, and increased recovery distance. He can also use 3 charges to make down tilt stun, leading into confirms from his amazing strongs. He's pretty alright at everything across the board, but his recovery is fairly punishable. Cinnamon is an echo fighter of Bluey who uses a 3-charge system instead of 4. This means she can get full charge faster at the cost of some power. A few moves are different, most notably forward and back air. However, the two can be fought mostly the same, including the poor recovery. Chef is a basic rushdown who mainly relies on good frame data and fundamentals over crazy gimmicks. They can place down a grill that acts as a moving platform, and use it to extend combos in certain situations. Using their pan on the grill will move it forward, making a generally stationary option become a threatening approach. Regardless, there's really not too much special to Chef, so just play to your strength. I did a more in-depth look at Cosine recently, but if you didn't see that or need a recap, he's a well-rounded character with a large variety of disjoints and traps. He can place a rock-shooting pipe and a bomb, and set them off using his flying disc. However, their startup can be punished. His recovery is also very limited. Just respect his disjoints, and you should be fine. Cupcake is a tricky acrobat that uses his great specials to set up into crazy combos. His most important tool is his side B, which can create a field. The field decreases knockback on combo moves and makes the side B wrap up opponents. Using a kill move in the field will consume it and increase its knockback. He can also create the field with the flip kick and reposition with neutral special. Like a lot of rushdowns, he doesn't have too much range, and his recovery isn't amazing. Watch for his escape with Flip Kick though, as it can prove to be a good mix-up. Gustav is a sharpshooter who uses his gun for crazy setups. He can reload and fire it in his hands, or throw a phantom version on the ground. The phantom version can be repositioned or fire an available bullet, where both the bullet and the gun are hitboxes. Most importantly, Gustav can zip to the gun, making it a solid approach option. Gustav is a slippery fighter with a lot of tricky buttons to trump your options, but being patient with him can help. He can only have one bullet in a gun before he's got to reload or pick it up, so he'll be looking for chances to do that. Also, his recovery is tied to the gun, so you can tell where he's going to end up. Without it, he can't really do much. Hana is a crazy character who can rush you down with her heavy pressure and unique projectiles. Her neutral special lets her create a disc and cycles between a few different ones that all have different properties. She can also create a phonograph, which can be grabbed and thrown but breaks after a while. These moves can be combined, throwing a photograph with the properties of the disc. This gives Hana crazy item play, which combined with her good normals makes her really strong. Like most rushdowns though, she's light and her recovery is subpar. Just be aware that she can teleport to her phonograph. Hodon is a powerful heavy who relies on setup to gain access to crazy kill power. Hodon can charge moves like Guile and Street Fighter, holding the opposite direction before executing the attack. While this is slow, Hodon can compensate for this with his Sweat Whirl, putting a steam clone on the stage. Standing in the clone will automatically give Hodon charge, allowing for him to move faster and even enhance normals. However, his big size makes him susceptible to combos, and keeping him away from the clones makes him much less powerful. Iroh is a combo-heavy install character who can deal heavy damage at the cost of situational kill power. In his base form, his strong's combo instead of kill, giving him very little to kill you with outside of a perfectly set up aerial. However, he can activate Sanguine Lightning when his meter is full. This form greatly boosts his kill power at the cost of him taking damage over time. He can end this form with a powerful finisher hit. It's important to play around Sanguine Lightning to fight Iroh effectively. Watch for his counter, which fills Sanguine Lightning much faster. And if he does have Sanguine Lightning active, be patient and avoid rushing him until he runs out. Lode and Puul are a goofy duo who combine their forces to be an absolute wrecking ball. Lode is a slow heavyweight with good power but terrible frame data. However, he can compensate this by calling Puul, who can attract and repel him across the map. Lode can also fire cannonballs, while Puul can redirect those into enemy targets. While this duo can be daunting, none of their moves are particularly fast. Keep an eye on where Puul is to watch Lode's movement and punish him when he messes up. Lumina is a rushdown fighter who uses her projectiles to pile on damage. She can place a field that detonates when a nearby opponent is inside, or when her charge shot goes through it. The field throws a ton of projectiles that can add damage or set up for combos. She can also flip off of it with down special, allowing for some tricky movement. Her recovery is also solid, being an 8-way teleport. However, her kill power is lacking and she is quite light. Lyca is a powerful hit-and-run character that gains great benefit for entering and exiting melee range. Landing hits with her bow grants spirits, which can be consumed to grant her charge. This charge can empower her strongs as well as the bow itself. Souls can also be used for extra recoveries and placed as bombs, which can be detonated with the bow or by manual input. Lyca can be quite the fierce opponent, with a lot going on. However, she doesn't excel too much in any one area, and without souls, her recovery is poor. Mycolich is a very confusing fighter with the ability to manipulate percents. It will pretty much always try to set up a fungus mine, which locks its damage at the current percent for a bit. However, when the fungus breaks, all the percent will be dealt to Myco all at once. Myco can also manually break it as a trap. In addition, Myco can grab opponents to cause them to act as if they have 0% for a bit. This allows Myco to unleash an insane combo game. However, Myco doesn't have a lot of great ways to initiate. They're slow and floaty, making it hard for them to get in against a more patient player. Nade is a versatile 2-in-1 character with a lot to keep track of. Nade can switch between grenade and pistol stance freely. Grenade stance gives him slow, hard-hitting moves and replaces his specials with grenade throws. Pistol stance is much faster and has much more versatile specials, some of which grant him armored approaches. You've probably heard this a lot already, but Nade is very balanced, making it hard to spot weaknesses. However, he is slow, and his recovery is somewhat linear. Otto too is a high mobility sharpshooter with the ability to come from anywhere. He can launch and manipulate his billiard ball, which alone is a solid proking projectile. Where this move really shines though is when Otto transforms it into a motorcycle, teleporting to it in the process. This does quite a bit of damage and puts Otto on the motorcycle until he attacks again, giving him increased movement. Combined with Otto's already solid mobility, he can be a slippery foe to fight. Keep an eye on the ball when he's far away and he'll have limited approaches. His range also isn't too crazy. Penny is a very extreme rushdown who will either shred you or get shredded trying. Her gimmick grants her a combo beat, allowing her to cancel jabs into tilts, then aerials or strongs, and then specials. This lets her get ludicrous damage off a single hit, and her unique movement tool has invuln frames to help her get in. However, her range is absolutely abysmal, meaning she struggles to get in. It's also possible to SDI out of her up special, allowing you to escape the powerful spike. Combined with her poor recovery, Penny is absolutely beatable, so long as you don't get overconfident. Probably one of the most confusing fighters, Suitcase is a close quarters brawler with roguelike mechanics. He can turn into a taxi to rush into melee range, and can space with XP crystals, quickly building XP. This XP can be spent to obtain more powerful items that alter gameplay. More powerful items can be added through the pool through achievements, unlocked by performing various actions in specific contexts. Suitcase is a lot to keep track of, but I have guides for most items, though they are a bit outdated. One thing you can always rely on, however, is Suitcase's rather poor range. Tenru is a trickster who relies on fast pokes to lead into big damage. He can throw bundles of fireworks that explode, causing the opponent to get stuck in a multi-hit. He can also zip around with his flip and prehensile tail that can grab the stage and opponents. Yet again, this is the case of a glass cannon. His speed and power make him a force to be reckoned with, but his weight and recovery can be exploited. And that's every character in this bracket. This bracket is expansive enough to have a character that's for everyone, but not too large that it's unlearnable. Even if you're not great, I highly recommend giving this bracket a shot. Coming to this event will help more people get involved in this community and help it to grow. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope to see some of you sign up. But until then, what are your thoughts on the roster? Are there any other characters you want me to do videos on? I already have one in mind I'm planning on doing, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts.